Regulate. Shh. Perfect. Regulate. Regulate. Heard they talking spicy, time to regulate. Heard they talking about me, I'ma regulate. They don't really want to see me regulate.
My brothers came down from Kentucky, actually. I grew up with them in Miami. And I don't know if you ever had Screwballs, like a peanut butter whiskey. And
Not that
well, I don't like sweet drinks. I like, just regular old bourbon and scotch and stuff. But I drank that one. It tastes like almost like Reese's peanut, like a sweet version of Reese's peanut butter cup. Then we got this one here. This is called Two Trees. I don't know if you can see it on there. Two Trees peanut butter. I tell you, when you open this bottom here, it's like if you were just to open a fresh can of peanut butter, and you know how you get that initial peanut butter smell?
Oh yeah.
That's what you get from this, right? So you would think like, I don't know if I would like that. I tell you what, man. When we drank in like a not like half hour. We drank almost this whole bottle. It was just that good. It felt like I was eating peanut butter. Dude, it felt like I was eating legitimate peanut butter cups. Like it was just incredible.
Good thing you're drinking and not eating it, because I can't say who, but I worked at a place that made peanut butter.
Where?
Wow. I can't say where, but I've worked at a place that actually trying to think of a way to describe it to that.
I know you can't say where, but let me ask you, how was it? Did it ruin
What?
your peanut butter liking?
I haven't had peanut butter since, because the smell when you walk in, like what you're describing right now.
Yeah.
Like oh man, the peanut butter smell and all like that stuff. It's the same thing with coconut oil.
Yeah.
I have I hate to joke about it, but I have like trauma from that, because it's just like literally you're in a plant and it just smells like peanut butter, so intense. You can't escape it. It's in the bathroom, it's in the break room, it's everywhere you go. You cannot escape it. You get tired of that real quick.
Dude, you know what? I can understand, because so when I first moved to New York, before I was an operations manager, I used to be a cook. And I wouldn't even consider this job a real cook job. And I will name them. I used to work for Red Lobster. And
a little Red Lobster. Hell yeah.
Man. Oh, hell yeah. Until you work there and you're like, fuck no.
Oh, hell no.
But never again. I'm never eating that shit. I'm telling you, man, it's a bunch of shit that they feed people there, man. Ever since I worked there, I was like, I just gag every time I think about it. I've had people go to me and they're like, hey, let's go to Red Lobster. Nope, I'm definitely not doing that. I've been in the kitchen. I've seen the bad shit. I've done some of the bad shit. So nah. So I'm good. Keep me away from there. I don't ever want to eat in any restaurant like that, except for Chili's. I gotta be honest. Chili's and Miller Ale House, Bahama Breeze as well. Those are my three. Those are my spots right there, man. You know what I'm saying?
Miller's Ale House. It's funny you say that. I was at a Miller's Ale House. What the hell was that? Maybe like a week or two ago. Yeah. I had the zappers or zingers or something.
I don't like those. That's one of those things I'm not crazy about.
It's French fries and a little queso and some chicken. Like what the hell? It's a nacho.
I'm not crazy. Me, I religiously get the same thing every time I go to a Miller's House. Okay, I get myself a Sam Adams. Okay, and then I get myself a chicken cheesesteak with French fries and a side of barbecue sauce. That's like anytime. I'm okay. I'm 100% okay with going there. Don't give a shit any other place as long as I have those things in front of me, and a good game or something entertaining on the TV. I'm just gonna like that from the world. I was like, that's where I find my peace for my sake. I love that place.
I like going to those places. Like I find it that it's kind of harder. You can't find like a UFC fight or anything like that. Because I mean, I follow the UFC from time to time. It's not like how it used to be. There used to be some real celebrities, but I mean, every once in a while I'll catch one at something like that. But I've noticed even around the valley, like it's just not. You got to go to like a real dive, and then you got to pay with a cover charge. It's like $30. It's like,
well, I think Miller. I don't know about anymore, but I know before Miller House used to show the fights, because I used to love watching MMA. Man, that was actually I trained MMA before I got chunky. I used to train MMA. That was my life, man. Loved it, absolutely loved it. And I want to get back. Eventually, I'm going to get back into it as well. But yeah, they used to show it there. There's a couple of bars. I don't know if this one particular restaurant has it. This is more like a high-end sports bar. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's called Yard House. But Yard House, Bro, dude, how far, do you live far up from Bucks County, or are you in Bucks County?
No, I'm in the ABE area, Allentown, Bethlehem Easton. So I mean,
Okay.
I'm a little, I guess, from Bucks, probably like 45 minutes or so.
Well, if you're ever in Bucks, man, and you have time on the weekend, we could hit up a Yard House. You could check it out because they got some good drinks there, man.
Oh, hell yeah. We
Yeah,
could do that for sure.
I'm telling you,
For
man.
sure.
I love it out there, man. But those are dope, dude. And it's just crazy, man. I just love going to that place. That place is peaceful. But Red Lobster, that's where I'm meant to get back to. Man, I tell you, man, to relate to your story, the smell.
Hmm.
When I first moved to New York, I was living in Brooklyn. I was sleeping on my grandfather's couch, right? The very first like 2 months out, a couple of months I was in New York. And I would come home wearing the chef jacket and all this stuff. And my grandfather's wife would come to me. She'd like, "What's that smell?" I'm like, "What
Oh,
smell are
yeah.
you talking about?" And I'm like, "Oh, no wonder the people at the train will like pull away from me because I smell like straight shrimp, sweat, and lobster."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It was terrible, man. It was fucking
It's
terrible.
it's wild about like the food industry. Like I've never really got involved with like the commercial end of like cooking, but being behind the scenes at plants, man, the FDA really touts themselves as really the pinnacle standard. You have your grades of meat and everything else
Yeah.
like that. Again, I really can't say where, but bugs, rat feces, that's normal. That's fine.
I've
So
heard. I've heard.
yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. I don't
It's
want to think
wild.
about it, but I've heard.
There's again, I can't say, but in a shipyard in upstate Jersey, there's a plant out there. It has a unique smell, so unique that if a piece of equipment comes out of that place and it goes somewhere else and I smell it, I'm like, oh, I know exactly where that came from. Well, how'd you know? Because I could smell it. Like I still have.
Wait, I have to ask you. It smells like ass, or it's just like
It
a.
has just like a unique smell. It's
Okay.
almost.
So it's not like it stinks. It's like, oh, I know that smell.
No,
Okay.
well, it's such a unique smell that some people like gag, some people don't. I'm not saying it smells like flowers or anything like that. It doesn't smell good.
I know other unique smells that come out of me sometimes, but I'm not gonna go there.
No. This has almost like a burning oil, like a burning cooking oil kind of smell.
I don't like
And
that smell. Yeah.
I had a welding machine in there, and I was doing a bunch of work. The strap, like the carry strap for it, I had to throw it out. This thing, like it didn't matter. I had simple green. I used every kind of detergent, everything to try to clean this strap.
Mhm.
It's probably still smells like it. There is no way, like it penetrates down in all your work shirts, pants, jeans, everything. That's all got to get thrown out. All of it. By the time that you leave there, I had a pair of expensive Red Wings. 6 months I had them. They had to go. It penetrated the leather so much. It didn't matter what you used to try to scrub and get all that out. Couldn't do it. Could not do it. And we eat that. We eat that. That's like I said, I kind of alluded to. There's coconut oil and olive oil and all kinds of other shit. Man, you can't escape it.
That's probably why you're like, I'm over it. I just don't want.
Yeah,
nothing to
no,
do with it.
I do love food plants. I do. They're some of them, the good ones, very clean, nice work, temperature controlled. There's a lot of benefits to getting into the food industry as far as like a welder and sanitary tube goes.
Yeah. No.
For sure.
So no peanut butter smells, no seafood, guys. That's our kryptonite right now.
Yeah.
A lot of things going on. There's so much to talk about today. Like I'm excited to talk about it, but at the same time, I'm really fucking pissed off about it. It's like today. Funny enough, well, not really funny. Today, I'm sitting down and I'm just looking at everything. Talk about in the stance of economy wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how just jacked up shit is and whatnot. And I have a marketing business on the side that I'm working on as well, outside of what I do full time.
Sure.
And I'm like, fuck, man. I would love to do something else. I have a huge idea of something I want to do within like the whole gun industry and whatnot. But I'm like, dude, like right now to get into anything else is just crazy. I mean, it seems like it's just the economy just is crap. Dude. It's just fucking crap.
I don't foresee it. Well, I mean, not to be black pilled, but I mean, yeah, it's. I don't see it really recovering as fast as what people either want it to, or there's too many things going on. I mean, today, I don't know if you've seen this, but Biden is shipping oil out of the country to Europe.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't read the article in
What
regards
the
to that.
fuck are we doing?
I didn't read. Look, I didn't regard. So one thing about me on this show is that like I don't talk too much on things where I don't know too much of because I still haven't read on that. However, I did hear about that in multiple avenues, and it just blows my fucking mind. The fact that if that is true, right? Yeah. Let's say the headline, because a lot of times when the media puts out something, the headline and the story is completely different. But let's say the headline is 100% true that they did that. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're over here, I'm looking at the gas prices. Cool, they went down from like where we live at 505, 507 to 483. But dude, like early 2020 to 2019, I was paying way less than $3. You know, $25, $30. I'm filling up a tank. Now it's just like almost $50 for a little 4-cylinder car. Blows my mind. It's like, what the fuck?
I mean, as somebody that drives a work truck, dude, I know exactly. I mean, it costs me almost around like 165, 170 to fill up the truck. You know, and that's a week. That's a week. So I'm usually driving an hour to and from wherever I'm working. That's insane. I mean, we went from when I had a Toyota Tundra, and I remember filling that up right when gas was like around I think it was like 360, and I was like, man, $60 to fill up. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And I'm spending $175 now. And I'm going,
fuck, dude.
60, yo, I'll go back to that. And that was like 9.8 to the gallon. I was like,
oh
hell
my
yeah,
god, bro. It's insane, man. You know, like, I have friends in the financial industry, so I've been able to make, you know, a proper allocations to certain avenues to protect our money and for our kids and stuff like that. So that's good. But anything outside of that, man, it's been a heavy hitter. I'm just like, fuck, dude, these groceries, gas, everything. It's like, you know, what I was making, I mean, before everything started skyrocketing, was more than willing to provide it for my family, you know, my two kids, my wife, rent paid, everything taken care of. Nothing, you know, I'm the one working. My wife is holding down the home like a rock, right? And I'm smooth. But now it's just like almost head above water, like just trying to get some breathing room because like, Jesus, this thing is not slowing down. And, you know, it's like right now what I'm seeing here, and a lot of people would agree, it's just like, you know, times are getting hard, but what can we do? We're going to sit here and complain about it. You know what I'm saying? It's either we got to do something about it within ourselves, or, you know, we just got to adapt, right? So, it's just fucking crazy.
You know, what's the funny thing with when you said adapt, I mean, obviously, you know, without going down a deep rabbit hole, but you're familiar with the concept of this Great Reset, you know, the thing.
The World Economic Forum?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know about that. Actually, I'm sorry, but me and Catherine, where I haven't finished it. I'm almost halfway. I believe she's almost finished it, but we're reading the Great Reset. We're going to do an episode on the Great Reset, just talking about the whole entire. Did you read the book?
I didn't read the book, but I listened to a guy talk about it, and it's very shocking when you have world leaders basically coming out and being like, you're going to own nothing, you're going to eat the bugs, and you're going to be happy.
Insane.
You know,
it's
and it's and when you hear something like that, you're kind of like a little taken aback, going like, what does that actually mean? And when you say like we have to adapt, I mean, I almost want to say now, you know, you asked an important question about last time. I kind of didn't really give you a straight answer on the last podcast with when you said when's like the time to do something. I mean, right now seems to be a great time to get people to go, hey, you know what? This hard work and all this stuff that we do, this ain't working out for us. Yeah.
So I want to rephrase something. Okay, I want to rephrase something. When I said adapt, I thought about it. I was like, wait, that's probably not the right word on the man. What we got to do, obviously, is push back. Let me use that word. And the way it's pushing back, you know, the way I view it, and people, you guys are listening, please put your opinions in this as well. The way I look at it is like, learn a new skill, get better at something.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Learn how to make more money. They're trying to starve us out here, So you got to fight. You got to fight back. You got to take care of your family. You got to hold it down. Right now, strong men are needed. There's a lot of strong women. Like I see a ton of women who are speaking out very boldly, but I'm not seeing too many men coming out as bold as the women are. And that's what we need. We need strong men to step up in the game, right? And just to really, really push back. The World Economic Forum is crazy because when you mention that, I'm thinking about that. I just saw a commercial the other day talking about the bugs, right?
Yeah.
I told somebody else, and it's crazy because when I say that to people, they're like, what kind of conspiracy theory is this? And I'm like,
no,
well,
not quite.
The guy that plays Iron Man in Marvel was on TV talking about fucking proteins out of bugs and shit like that.
Yeah, burgers and shit.
Yeah, and let's go back in history. Humanity has eaten bugs. I don't find it very strange. I just don't want to fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with my steak. I don't want to eat no fucking locust.
Well,
it's crazy.
I find it to be something like veganism. Like if that's your thing, like if that's where you're comfortable with your eating or whatever. Hey man, more power to you. And that's not a slight against veganism or anything like that. It's just you're making the choice. I like steak. I'm gonna eat the steak. You want to have the bug burger? That's fine, man. I ain't gonna tell you not to have the bug burger. But I mean, when we get to the point where there's only bug burgers, that's a problem.
No,
that's that may be coming sooner than later. It's
oh my god. I mean, look. I'll probably be honest. I'll probably be open to eat some bugs. When I was in high school, we did in our biology class. Our teacher bought crickets baked in cookies and maggots. You eat the head. You have to make sure you chew the head, and then you eat the rest of the worm. The cookie, you just eat it just like the cookie. And we ate it, and some people were like, well, it's not bad at all. Me, I'm like, what the fuck did I just eat? Like it's insane. So I don't want to do it at all. I'm okay. I prefer my big piece of steak.
Oh, yeah.
Medium rare. You know what I'm saying? My saddle mashed potatoes, big boy style.
Yeah. Oh, no, for sure. I find it totally wild that, like, you have world powers like basically being like, well, this is what's going to happen. There's no like trying to figure out an alternative solution. Yeah, that's
I'm not down with that.
Something's wrong. Something's wrong.
I am not down with that.
No, and looking at other parts of the Great Reset, like just for specifically, it is so hard now for your average person making, everybody thought this fight for 15 was going to solve the problem. We're all going to make a higher wage now. I mean, all that's done is exacerbate inflation, which was probably at one point, and this is not giving credit to the Biden administration by any means, but probably was transitory at one time. But we've gone past that. When we're just printing money, just every week we're just like, yeah, 500 million, 40 billion, boom, 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 boom. We're just throwing money out the door.
It's insane.
No, we've left transitory inflation and we're here. I mean,
there's some people already calling us saying that we're in recession. Like we're July 1st. They're calling it as the first ever recession. I'm talking about influential leaders. I'm not talking about just somebody like me coming up and saying it. Like people who are in these industries coming out and stating that we're in a recession. In fact, they're already saying that the whole housing market crash they've been talking about it's already starting. It's already here.
Well, you have higher rates now. They're trying to lower the cost of homes by having a higher rate. Because I mean, I have a buddy that he's also in the trades. He bought a house probably 2016, 17. It was a $500,000 home in New Jersey. Mm. He bought it on foreclosure for like one something, like 150 or whatever, because they couldn't find it. Like, he threw money in. That's how insane the market was. And he had like a 2.8 like interest rate. I mean, he's like, buy a house now. It'll never be like this. And I'm like, yeah, it's always going to be like this. Like this, nothing's ever going to happen. Now I mean, how the housing market is totally out of control. We were looking at, me and my girlfriend were looking up at a house in some town real far out in the woods. We drive up the driveway. It's on top of a mountain. We get up there. I'm walking around the property. the ground almost gives way underneath me. The cellar door
Hmm.
was like covered in leaves. The whole house is falling apart. There was no
Yeah.
stairs to get up to the second floor.
Oh, jeez.
Like it just, and they were like, yeah, 200,000. It's just like
$200,000. Are you guys gonna give me some stairs?
yeah, I
Shit.
mean, totally wild. And I think it's sold. I think it's sold for like over
I wouldn't
asking
doubt it.
price.
I wouldn't doubt it. And they're probably gonna sell it for a ton more after they're
Yeah,
done renovating.
yeah. But there's
That's
without
crazy.
without the government. I mean, and they should never really step in. But this is one of those times where we need some type of administrative authority to come in and go, well, Walmart, Costco, BlackRock, you guys can't just come in and just start buying houses for, say, house sells for or wants to be on the market for like 180. You can't just come in with like
Yeah.
300,000 and be like, well, we're going to stave off any kind of inflation that we're going to experience by just buying this home and having a physical asset. Yeah, it can't be done. You're either going to have to figure out something else or reinvest in the American market somehow. But this whole thing of like you just holding on to your money with physical assets, because I mean that's what basically inflation boils down to.
Well, it's insane because you're mentioning this, and I want you to continue on. I just want to point that something out. But the amount of properties BlackRock is buying, and
Yeah,
another name that was left out there that people don't know, and they think it's bullshit when I tell them. But I'm like, look, you could do a simple Google search and it'll come out, and it's exactly what I just did right now, right? Bill Gates is
yep,
considered the largest private owner of farmland in the country,
yep,
with
yep.
some 269,000 acres across dozens of states, according to last year's edition of the Land Report 100. 269,000 acres. What's a big question for me right now with that? What does 269,000 acres equal out to? Like what size state? You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
that's
it's
an
probably pretty
awful
big.
lot of land. That's an awful
Yeah,
lot of land.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You're talking
Oh
about
yeah,
you're talking about more than 250,000 acres was
yeah.
purchased for what? What are you doing? I mean, you're sus already as it is with the whole vaccination thing, amongst
Hmm.
other things you're saying. You want to block, from what I've heard, you want to block off the moon, like what, or the sun? Was it one or the other?
Yeah, yeah. I think
Like
there was like a thing with for climate or carbon emissions
yeah,
or something
what the
wacky. Yeah,
two hundred
yeah,
sixty nine thousand
yeah. And
and
that's
black
usable farmland. That's
shit.
usable farmland.
Oh no, 100%. Right. So it blows me. It blows my mind. But back to what you were saying, I just had to throw that in. It was crazy.
Well, what I'll just make one real quick point on that
Yeah.
is it would be one thing if you had a private investor, say a Bill Gates figure or Elon Musk, whoever, come in and buy like forestry and was like, well, I'm going to make a development or I'm going to do land reclamation. I'm going to plant trees and have a wildlife reserve. That would be one thing. I'd be like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
well, at least you're doing
100%.
something. When you're buying usable farmland and literally just sitting on it and being like, I don't know, and without a plan or not, or maybe not without a plan, but without a known plan for like, hey, what are you going to do with that? Well, that's
It's
kind of weird. Like, that's kind of
it's
weird.
no. It's not kind of weird. It's
Yeah,
fucking weird as fuck.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's the craziest thing ever. And right now, I'm trying to find out right now what does not 269, but what does at least 250,000 acres look like? Because how big is it? Okay, because that's a lot, right?
oh
So
yeah,
I'm looking at this now. Okay, how big is 250 acres? That does not have the answer. I'll get back to that as soon as I find the answer.
sure.
But that has to equate to the size of a city, or I mean, even more. I mean, that's a lot.
I mean,
2 acres is huge.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that that's probably pretty close to the state of either Rhode Island or like Connecticut. Like I'm gonna go out on a limb here and maybe fire that one off and go, hey, because I mean Rhode Island I think is what like 54 miles by like 35 or 30 something miles wide, and
I
I mean
wouldn't doubt it.
it's
Yeah.
not that big. You know what I mean? It's a decent sized state, but I mean you could drive through it in I think like an hour and a half or something like that.
See,
It's small.
I just found a chart right now, and I'm not quite sure how to read the chart. So hopefully somebody could clarify this. As a matter of fact, I want to see if I could even share the screen, because if I can, this would be great. Okay, cool. So if you
Oh
look,
yeah.
if you see the
Oh
chart
yeah.
here,
Hmm.
I'm looking at this right here. So let's look at Alaska, right? That's 393,000 acres, according to
Yep.
state acres, right? Now, I don't know what the difference between the acres he bought and this. I don't know if they measure it the same way, but let's say if they do, that's almost the size of Alaska, man. That's like what?
Yeah.
Shit. A little over 100,000. Let's look for another one that's closer to that number. Let's see what states pops in as close as possible, as close to that as we see. All right, like Texas. Texas, 171,000. Again,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm reading these charts right. I'm admitting that, so you guys could correct me, please, on there. But if I'm understanding just that portion of it correctly, dude, that's fucking insane.
Oh, yeah.
What do you? Holy shit! You know what I'm saying?
You're
Blows my mind.
Well, he is, I believe, the number one private farmland owner in America. And I mean, probably owns some overseas stuff too. I wouldn't doubt
I wouldn't doubt
his
it. I wouldn't
portfolio.
doubt that
Yeah.
at all. Yeah.
But I mean, you have a tech billionaire getting into farmland. I mean, now granted, I forget if it was Bill Gates or it was somebody else, maybe Michael Berry, one of them, said that water would be the other big uh, 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 thing to invest in. You have now like Nestle Waters.
Yeah.
I mean, Nestle Waters. People think that it's a small, not a small organization, but I mean the amount of money that's involved in Nestle Waters between all their different product lines and everything. I mean, it's insane how much water they own. That's the
Yeah.
thing is like, and that's one thing, as a business owner myself, I understand that, but when you say that you like own the water, where if there's like a stream or a creek, and you can't just like go get some water, that's,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa,
That's
whoa.
always.
Yeah.
Like I've never understood that. I mean, I wish somebody would explain that to me. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I read, I learn, I adjust, whatever, right? And that's one of those questions I ask myself. It's like, why don't we just collect rainwater and filter it out? I mean,
It's illegal.
That's what, and that's
It's
what
illegal.
I was like,
Yeah.
is that cause harm? Then I heard it was illegal. I'm like,
Yeah.
is it really illegal? I never researched it to see what happens when you do that. But in my head, I'm like, why would it be illegal? I mean, if it's healthy, right? If it's something that you can filter through and you can actually take that and it does not affect your body, then in a negative way, then why would it be illegal?
I would dare say that collecting rainwater would probably, now again, I'm not a scientist, don't listen to me, but I mean, just by the basic idea of how rainwater becomes
Yeah.
a thing, I would say that that's probably the most cleanest water that you can get, considering that when you take water samples now, I don't know if you've ever seen the documentary about DuPont with
No, I'm not.
there's a pretty insightful documentary on Netflix. I can't recall the name right now, but it's about DuPont. There is tribes in, I believe, either it's in the Amazon or it's in Africa, that
Mm.
when they visited these villages or settlements, whatever you want to call them, years after the DuPont spill, they have actually Teflon in their body without ever having been around any type of modern cookware or anything, because it's in the water. The
Mm.
Teflon, DuPont has completely like poisoned the entire planet with Teflon. I don't know the chemical makeup of it, but it's a pretty insightful documentary, because when they were doing their
I have to check
drainage
that
for their
out.
product, yeah,
Yeah.
it's wild. Because the way that the water flows, I mean, water goes down into the ocean and mixes, and it dissipates, but like the half-life on these chemicals are thousands of years, or
Yeah.
maybe again hundreds of years long. I mean, when I heard that, I'm like, that is if that's true, again, that's totally insane, but it has been shown that Prozac, other antidepressants are in the water. You know what I mean? This is stuff that you can't just filter out. You can't just get a Brita water filter and put that on and be like, oh, that's all. It's all good. That barely takes dirt out of water.
No. You know what this reminds me of? I'm pretty sure you've heard of Alex Jones, right?
Oh God, yes.
So
Yeah.
they used to make fun of him because he will go
Yes.
out and say something of the sorts of
The friggin' frogs.
the water's making frogs are gay.
Yes.
But turns out, from what I've read,
Yes.
turns out
Yeah.
that was an actual experiment, and it
Yeah.
was true. He wasn't fucking crazy.
Well, he got
Well,
like the nomenclature wrong of it, saying
Yeah.
that it was turning the frogs gay. It just was making the frogs sexually inactive, where they just
Yeah.
were like, yeah, I'd rather just like sit around and groom myself all day. and not like actually want to like procreate. But that happened. That's the thing though. Like
That's
when you
crazy
hear
with
something
water.
like that, you're just like, whoa, like that seems kind of dangerous, you know?
No,
Like,
man, you know, it makes you question. It makes you question a lot of stuff because, like, you know, I've read studies where they were talking about testosterone levels dropping,
yes.
amongst other things, right, within men. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, you know, I'm one to say, and I've changed the way I've done particular things because I'm like, you know, I grew up and I was chunky, got slim, got fit, you know,
Hmm.
doing MMA, but then got chunky again after getting married. When you get married, you have kids, bro.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just game
yeah.
over. So, you know, and I'm like, all right, cool. So, you know, I'm becoming more conscious again of the things I put in my body because I'm like, yeah, like some of these chemicals, some of the water, if it's not filtered, you know, it has to have all kinds of shit that's just not good for you. And come and find out that's just the case in itself, right?
Yeah.
Like water, you know, you want to filter water. That's a very important thing.
Hmm.
There's these guys, they do, you know, I learned very lightly of it. I don't know too much of it. I believe it's called Keegan water. Um, it's like a
No.
filtrate. It's like I might get the name. I might have the name wrong, but it's like a filtration system that, you know, athletes use as well for the water, and it's supposed to make the water like super, super like just healthy, right?
Hmm.
And when they do comparisons in the videos of like water from, like, let's say I'm drinking Poland Spring right now, right? A gallon of it, and then, you know, or water from the sink or whatnot. They do those little tests that you can see like the quality of the water. You see
Oh,
how
yep.
shitty. You see how shitty like the quality of these things are, and I'm still drinking it because it's what is available compared to what that filter. And that's an actual machine that goes through like a filtering process
Yeah.
to give you the drinkable water. So it's not like, you know,
Hmm.
just open sink, put it into a little filter, and that's it. You're good to go. This is a fucking process.
Well, it's much like the food, you know, and again, not kind of going back to food, but it's the veil on some of these things because again, you know, without you know, just coming in from the construction and manufacturing background, when they talk about like reverse osmosis water, like, oh, our water goes through a reverse osmosis thing. As you can tell, I mean, you can't see me, but like I just rolled my eyes because basically that's what it is. It literally the water goes into a charcoal filter, and then a pump sucks it out the other side, and then that's it.
Mhm.
There's no like magic or like anything.
Yeah, you know,
It's like a veil. Like, oh, it's like Pepperidge Farms. You know,
it's
you
crazy.
think that you're going to Pepperidge Farms and there's like Keebler elves running around making cookies and shit. And it's just like, no, this is
Nah.
a bunch of disgruntled, dirty people in there just throwing shit together and then getting it in a box and throwing it into a truck.
No,
You
that's
know?
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy because, like, you know, I see some of the filtration system. Or, you matter of fact, I never was like a prepper or any of that.
Hmm.
With recent things going on, I don't think it's a bad idea whatsoever getting
Oh no,
prepared for it.
no.
Yeah. So, you know, take that into consideration. I'm learning a lot, watching a lot, and I see how people filter the waters. I'm like, holy
Yeah.
fuck! It looks like a bunch of rocks and just like nothing crazy in there. You know, I thought it was going to be like a whole systematic thing that you're going to have to build out to filter your water, but it's just natural shit that they put together. The water goes through all of that, and then it comes out cleaner. You know, it's pretty sick.
That is very good. And for one of my filtration systems for my backpack, I have a Sawyer, and
Okay.
that's a pretty good inline water filtration system. So you can actually like cut your tube, put it on, and then put your mouthpiece on it, and that'll
No doubt.
filter as you're drinking. And they're pretty affordable. It's not even really that expensive. I think like
Mm.
a Sawyer Mini is like $20 on Amazon. It's
Oh
not.
shit.
Yeah. It if you're invested in it and you want to drink some water that is kind of like a little suspicious, you know, like you're hiking or something, you run out of water, there's
Yeah.
a stream. Yeah, you put that in there, you won't die from dysentery or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll be fine. But
I need
what
something like that because all I have is a life straw. I think it's called life straw.
those bastards are. You ever use it?
No, I haven't used it. I have it in my
Oh,
bag somewhere.
when you use it, you, you are gonna have to suck on that thing so friggin' hard your head is gonna pop because without it being like pre-wetted to like actually
Yeah.
get it like ready to drink from. Holy
Yeah.
Christ! That's why I went to a Sawyer because the Sawyer you could just it's just like normal. It flows much easier. The Life Straw I guess maybe better
Yeah.
for certain things, but the, but you were going back to filtration for a moment like that's really good for particulates and probably some. I know that some do bacteria.
Okay.
but viruses are smaller, and then chemical compositions are very small.
Mm.
So even like for our house, we have a Berkey water filter system, and it's just like an upper and lower chamber, and it goes through this thing. But the the thing is like even they'll tell you like there's nothing to get chemicals out of the water. You're gonna
Mm.
have to like introduce chemicals to that. So like water purification tablets or iodine or something like that. You can put that into water and it will clean it up a little bit more. But for your typical thing, like when I mentioned Prozac and Valium and other antidepressants, like that's in the water. Like there's no way of like getting that out. That
Dude.
because when you go to the bathroom, when people who take Prozac like go to the bathroom, that water from the toilet goes into the water system, and it does
Yeah.
go to a water treatment plant, but there is no way to get that out of the water.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
in there permanently. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously there's a half life and it dilutes over time, but I mean, when you
Shit.
have half the country on it, I mean, holy
Yeah.
shit,
You
it's
know
gonna be
what?
there forever.
You know what would be pretty cool, man? And I was thinking about that today too. It's like, because I was on Billy's website because I wanted to see if he had another course I could do
Oh
after the
yeah,
potluck at some point. So, excuse me. So I was looking at his website, and he has a little bit of his accolades of the stuff that he's done, and whatnot. And I was gonna message him. I was like, dude, do you do any type of like survival, kind of like training course? Because
yeah, yeah.
I'll be honest, man. I don't look. I've been on farms. I've
Hmm.
visited farms many times because when I lived in Ecuador, my grandmother's husband and my grandma had a farm out there. So straight jungle type banana farm kind of deal, and stuff like that. So you got all kinds of animals and craziness there. And I've learned a lot there, but I was under 10 years old. After that, I came to
Sure.
the States and, very far disconnected from all of that. And I'm like, yo, you know what? That's not a bad thing to know because one thing I've learned experiencing some hurricanes down in Florida is that there's times you're going to need ways to survive that's not, dependent on the things we're used to, right? Like, for
Oh yeah.
example,
Yep.
cooking. The power went out. Now we had gas stoves and all that. And that lasted us, thank God, because
Yeah.
it wasn't like the power will be out months, but it will be out a couple of weeks. So in that case, it comes down to, well, what happens if the power stays down longer than a couple of weeks and you run out of that? How are you gonna cook your food and feed yourself if you don't know how to start a fire or any of that stuff like that, right?
It's
So
funny that
yeah,
that you mentioned that. Actually, I just fired off in our little group chat. I found this place out in well, they keep saying it's outside Pittsburgh, but actually it's more towards the West Virginia border that does like a survival kind of class. They do a 2 day,
yeah,
1 night, and a 4 day and 3 night course that basically will kind of get you from head to toe. Like, it's not, I mean, you ain't gonna be like a bushcraft, out there running around, being able to live out there forever. But I mean, one thing you could even look at early like colonial times.
yeah.
The average person in colonial times, probably the average child in colonial times, would be able to survive in the modern day very comfortably. You take the same person and bring them to back to colonial times, they would be dead before winter. Yeah,
I'll be look.
yeah,
I'll be honest,
right
man.
there.
I'll be there by next month.
Yeah,
What you mean there's no grill? What you mean
yeah,
I can't cook that
yeah,
food? What? I'm
yeah.
gonna die tomorrow.
I've heard people describe the average child in like the
Oh
late
my god,
1800s
dude.
had a better understanding on how to survive and like thrive inside of like basically an adverse area like the woods or anything like that. When you have, I mean, now we have today modern things, but I mean back then mountains, lions, and shit like they just like came around like it was that's like just like a normal thing. Today they're out in the woods somewhere. Their territory is fairly small, but you know back in colonial times, it was like it literally was the Wild West, and the average kid knew more on how to survive than probably most 99% of people today, which is
You know,
wild when you think about it.
yeah, it's insane. You know what? One of my biggest motivators to learn all this stuff is my kids. Right, I got
Yeah.
twins. I got a boy and girl. They turned 2 years old this month. Well,
Oh, good
last
for
month.
you.
And thanks. And I'm thinking about. I'm like, I feel like not. I feel like I know a lot of young boys are growing weak as fuck. Right.
Hmm.
A lot of girls are growing up not knowing how to be loved, or searching for love in the wrong places because of a lack
Yeah.
of a father or whatever, or figure, or whatever it is. Right. So, I want to approach life different the way it wasn't approached towards me, where I equip these kids to understand, to be able to survive anything that comes their way. Not get them not go so far gone that they're worried about the end of the world happening or anything like that.
Sure.
But just knowing stuff, like, hey, I want to learn how to start a fire. I want to learn how to, like, one of my biggest things, I really want to hunt, right? I want to do all that because, I want to pass that on to my kids. Now, they don't have to do it for a sport. They don't have to do it all the time just to get food, whatever. That's up to them. That's their choice. But they know how to do it. That's the big thing. So God forbid they ever need to do it. They don't feel that they have to depend on others. They could depend on themselves to be able to do it. You get what I'm saying? So that's such a big thing. Yeah.
Well, there does seem to be, I mean, and the more I kind of like look into this kind of stuff, because I mean, that's something that myself as well have probably, I've been about a year into it now, like kind of reading about stuff, looking at stuff, because that's one of the reasons I got into actually smoking, because you can preserve things like that. Now, I mean, it's different when you're going for like a barbecue kind of thing, but like meats and stuff, that's how people used to.
I would love to smoke.
Yeah, people. Well, that and fish, I mean, you can smoke fish and it will last for a pretty decent, I mean, we're not talking weeks, but I mean, you could eat a piece of fish within a couple of days if it's smoked and dried
I just want to clarify something for our listeners, and we're not talking about smoking the devil's lettuce, okay?
Oh, no. Yeah.
We're saints here, but we are talking about food.
Yeah, I mean, but like simple skills like that, people have like lost, and it's shocking where, and I'm guilty, I've never lived out in a rural area before, but I noticed that I see a lot of people trying to get into something like that. I don't know if it's because people are nervous about, say, like the economy or whatever, but there is a little bit of resurgence to return to a simpler time, because I noticed that for myself, like trying to look for houses, like I don't want to live in a city. I don't want to live near people. If I can find a property that's by itself, and I can have a garden and live out there. If I can make one trip to the grocery store a month and subsidize myself through a garden or like having chickens or something like that for the rest of everything else, that's great. To me, that's perfect. That's perfect.
It's crazy that you say that, because the amount of people that I know who've actually has had the same thought process as recent is insane. Like I feel like that wasn't something I used to hear about people wanting to do for the longest. Like I've always wanted to do that. It was looked as you just want to be a country boy. This and that. Like, when I lived in Ecuador, my grandmother did that, and I thought it was cool. And I would love to live. I would love to live like that. Experience that again. That's just it, right? But other people here who haven't experienced that one, I'm just hearing it. They have conversations with me, especially those who disagreed with my political views at first, and now coming back to me and be like, "Yo, you were right." I was like, "Try to tell you." It's like, "No, now I'm thinking about getting property, and I would like to grow my own food and this and that." I'm like, "It's not a bad idea, man. It's a good idea, because what's wrong with being self-sufficient, taking care of yourself, knowing how to handle yourself, taking care of your family, especially us men, right? Our men, I know things are weird nowadays, but like our home is pretty much a traditional home, right? Yeah. My wife holds down the home. She's taking care of the kids. I mean, she's doing her thing. It's not easy whatsoever. I'm out. I'm bringing, to bring the food and taking care of that. And I have to level that up, because as a man, I'm like, something for the God forbid something happens, I'm not gonna leave it up to her to try to bring the meal to the table.
Oh, sure.
That's gonna come out to be me. So, putting myself in that position to be able to do that. So it is kind of like you're saying, like, more of the simpler thing going towards that. I'm like, having a deep box freezer full of meat would be dope. Knowing like, hey, knowing like, shit, I not only did I get this food myself, but I don't have to depend on the stuff that's coming out of all these food factories. This is straight from nature, right?
And I have to agree with that. There is a little bit of probably it's cliche to say, but there is a little bit of like a romance factor to having a little bit of self-sustainability, because like I was saying, I don't know if it's the economy or if it's just like, maybe it's the times, but I also feel it's like people see things as what they are now. It's fake, because I mean, you look at your average food that's in a grocery store that comes in a box or a can, that shit is fake. It's fake. It's fake. It's not even real. It's when you flip over that ingredients label, and it's like half of it shit that you don't even know what it is, and then the other half you could tell it's chemicals, and you're like, oh, it's just disgusting. A bunch of shit just amalgamated into just something.
Dude, the other day the other day I was we did like a Taco Tuesday kind of theme for our kid's birthday.
Yep.
And we cooked a bunch of stuff, and one of the things that we had is I love refried beans. I love refried beans. I don't like canned refried beans. And my wife bought refried beans. I'm like, oh, why you buy that junk? Should have just bought beans. I would have boiled it, get that cooked up, season it up, smash it up, throw some lime, all that stuff in there. It would have been great. But no, we got the canned ones, and I was going to let it go to waste. So I open the cans. I'm pulling it. Poke a hole with the knife on one side so it comes out swing with the other.
Oh yeah, yep.
And as it's sliding down, I'm just like, this looks like a wad of gelatin. Falls down. I mashed it down. I start cooking it. Put the seasoning in there and everything. And I took a bite, and I felt like I was just eating gelatin. It didn't even feel like that bean texture, like that actual
it's not real
food. Yeah, it's. So when I lived in Ecuador and came to the States, or when I used to go visit back then, come over here, you could tell the difference in the quality of food, especially when you eat food from the farm, right?
Oh yeah,
milk from the farm is not what milk in the fridge. And my personal favorite that I miss very, very, very much, freshly squeezed orange juice, opposed to like the shit like Sunny D and the supermarket concentrated shit that.
Oh man, well that's something. It's funny you say that. I was on a hunt for the longest time for raw milk, and I finally found some. And a glass bottle, like the way they used to bring it to your house. I mean, it has, and you probably know what I'm talking about, but it has almost like a grass like taste and smell.
It's so different.
Yes, it's not so like different. The pasteurized shit where they pound it through, but it's so hard to find it because most grocery stores won't carry it.
Dude, they don't have it.
The legality behind it.
They don't have it.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of shit they have in there. And, I drink it because there's nothing else. I like my coffee. Right?
Yep.
I wear my tutu when I drink my French vanilla coffee.
Yeah.
So I put that in there. I'm like, holy fuck, this is fake as fuck. And it tastes so good, but it's so bad for you.
Oh, yeah.
It's just terrible, man. Yeah.
It's watered down. Who knows? I mean, again, through the pasteurization process and everything else that's in dairy plants now. Yeah. You don't even know what it is, but that was my first big experience with raw milk. Was like, holy shit! Like, is this what milk's supposed to taste like?
Oh, it's crazy.
What blew my mind the most about it, and I think this kind of ties in everything, is that you look at organics are kind of like a touch and go with what is actually like real or not. But you look at milk. Your gallon of milk is somewhere like $4.60, $4.80 now.
I see the 5 something over here. It's crazy.
Christ, that's wild.
It's fucking insane. We buy milk for our kids because that's what they drink. A lot of it for the development and whatnot. And I'm looking at them like, holy shit, what's going on here?
If you were buying raw milk, you're probably in the $8-9 range.
Dude, if I had a cow, if I had my own like cattle, I'll be way better off. I mean, it's not cheap to have cattle, but if I have cattle, I'm pretty sure that I'm doing something that I'm able to have cattle. So I'll find that. More taste. It's more like the taste is just so much more different. Like that's why I want to hunt. That's why I want to hunt, right?
Yeah.
I want to hunt, not only for the basic, just to know how to gather my own food if ever in the need to, but I also want that taste of fresh meat. I don't want that. I don't want that. Like when you go to the supermarket, you look at the meat. I'm like, I remember looking at butcher shops when I was down in Ecuador. Like they used to do, like, I don't know if you've seen the movies with like tents all the meat is just out and stuff like that. The markets. Yeah, just like that. Like you see it's like completely different from the crap you see here, And I'm like, I miss that. I miss that good old steak. When you eat it, you could taste the difference. Yeah. You could feel the difference in the quality of what's there opposed to like the shit that you get at the supermarket and whatnot.
Well, you have people that are farmers, that's what their job is, and I've noticed that even from buying meat off of farms, you have farmers and then you have production plants that basically just people come in, they chainsaw the cow all up or whatever. They butcher it so that it's all, and then they throw it out there into, a box and it goes into the supermarket. It does have a different taste. It does have a different thing about it because you could taste it. You could taste it, and you can even see it. Like the interconnective tissue and stuff from a farm raised cow versus just something barely living on a plant somewhere.
Yeah, holy shit. So something just came up on Twitter. I have to mention it
Yeah.
because it's a pretty fucking big deal, actually. I'm not sure if you're familiar with an account called Breaking 911.
Oh, I think I might have just
So
seen something from there.
Breaking 911 is awesome because they post all kinds of like all things that just breaking news like all around. And right now it just came up that they've been permanently suspended from Twitter, which is insane. Now I haven't read the whole thing to see why they were permanently suspended, but I'm pretty sure it is because Arizona, the elections are coming up, right? In Arizona, I believe his name is Johnson.
Oh, Robert Johnson. I did see that. Yes.
Was
yes.
it Rob? No. Something Davidson.
Oh.
Damn, I had it over here. I gotta find it. So, actually, matter of fact, I'm gonna play his video because I have it here. Let me open it up.
Yeah.
And I want to hear your thoughts on this. We don't have that much time, and we're gonna roll over overtime, which is totally fine because I'm enjoying the conversation. But I want us to watch this, and I want our guests to watch this because it's fucking sick. So this guy, he's a pastor, and he's running for Congress. And the video he came out was so fucking bold. I love it. I mean. Man, I'm not living in Arizona, and I want to vote for him. So, yeah, guys, you guys see the guy in the white hood outfit. Before
we
you
ain't
judge,
gonna be on the internet for very long. Holy shit!
But watch this because this shit is crazy. Let me see. Oh, wait, that don't know the one. Okay, can you hear it? Let's see. All right, can you hear it?
No, I'm not getting any audio. But I'm
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me fix this right here because you guys have to hear this. I'm telling you, this is totally worth the listen. Just bear with me. Scarlet. Okay. So this guy, his name, man, I have his name here somewhere. He came out with his ad for of what he's running for, and it's just freaking insane. Let me see if it comes up now. Give me 1 second. Okay, so that's him right there. Right. Okay, let me see real quick. Okay, speaker, mic. Perfect. All right, let me put this away. Dude, this guy, so he comes out with this video. So he's running for Congress. He did an ad. There's another guy that did the same thing in Missouri. He was targeting rhinos because, be honest, dude, I don't like dems, but there's nothing I don't like more than rhinos at the moment.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons, right? So I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. So I can't hear you right now. Just bear with me for a second, just to make sure I get this, guys, because I have to play this. Really important. All right, say something now. See if I can hear you.
You hear me now?
Got you. Yes.
All
okay,
right, cool.
Perfect. Awesome. All right, so you should be able to hear it now. Let me see if it comes up. Let me play this. Okay, right here. All right, cool. Let's get this volume up. Mac mini speakers. All right, awesome. Perfect. Let me get this over here.
To say that no one needs
you can hear it, all right?
Yep.
for self-defense. That no one could possibly need all 30 rounds. But when this rifle is the only thing standing between your family and a dozen angry Democrats in Klan rooms, you just might need that semi-automatic.
Yeah.
In all 30 rounds.
Is this on TV?
This was all. It's breaking all over social media right now.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh my god, dude! I saw that. I'm like, whoa. What did I just witness? Is this real? Is this real life right now? That was, bro. Come on, tell me right now that is not like one of the best commercials that you've seen in a while.
I'll tell you what, it's provocative. I'll tell you that. I mean, it's going to grab some people's attention.
Okay.
Oh.
There you go. I got you now. Say it again.
Oh. No, I'll tell you right now. It's provocative. It's definitely catching people's attention. I mean,
yeah.
Holy shit, yeah.
So they shared that. Breaking 911 shared that today. I wonder if that's what it is because that video is trending right now. Like it's just blowing up. It's insane. Did you watch? Okay, so you know what? This goes into and I want to get your opinion on both of these because I have a lot to say with this, and we could close off this episode because I'm gonna have you on again. Like you're just awesome to have on here.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
There's another one that kind of has a similar vibe, but towards rhinos, right? Rhino hunter. Call him the Rhino Hunter. Perfect. Okay, I found it right here. Oh, so I don't know if you ever heard of the Rhino Hunter.
No, I know about the bum fighter or bum hunter from bum fights, like, but
Wait,
that's.
wait, wait, wait.
Oh
The
no!
what?
Oh my God! You ever see bum fights?
No,
That
I did not, but I want to know.
well, we'll cross that topic a different day. Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. I'm trying to see if I could find the video, man. I think I had taken the video down because it's like, again, if you're someone in this party, you talk about, something in the sorts of like that one that you're sending right now, it's
Mhm.
an instant problem. Like, dude, if I tell you Eric Brightons, there we go. If I ever tell you how many people call me mass shooter just because I own guns on Twitter is insane. It's like, it's crazy. I'm like, really, bro? Like, that's really the first thing that comes to your head because I fucking own firearms. Wait, watch this. I'm gonna show you this real quick, and you're just gonna go, holy shit. Ready? All right. Perfect. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, let's do this again. Oh, bro, let's go over here. Okay, check this one out. All right, I gotta take my headphones off again. See, this is the thing with Apple. They have to pull it in, pull it out. Pause.
God.
Okay, here it goes.
He's Navy SEAL, and today we're going rhino hunting. Rhino feeds on corruption and is marked by the stripes of cowardice.
Watch this, it gets better.
Join the MAGA crew. Get a rhino hunting permit. There's no bagging limit, no tagging limit, and it doesn't expire until we save our country.
Holy shit, dude.
I'll tell you what, this
Holy shit.
populist message that's coming out. Okay, am I good to talk
Yo,
again?
you're good, bro.
Oh, okay. But yeah, this populist message that seems to be dwelling and really kind of like coming out. I mean, you have the guy from Arizona, and then this guy. This seems to be a groundswell that's Trump, you could say, arguably started this, and it seems as though, I mean, look at wow, what the hell is her name? Lauren Boebert. Oh, Lauren Boebert.
Okay.
Yeah, she won, I think, her primary, and I mean, people, they make fun of her in Congress. I mean, but again, you look at these people and what they're trying to do. This without knowing this guy's policies or anything like that. Obviously he's too A friendly, so that's
I would
fine.
say I would say so.
Yeah, but this thing that it is time to rein it in, if you will, with these people who are, I mean, like I was saying on the last podcast, Mitt Romney's taking millions of dollars from the NRA, and then he's like just being like, yeah, red flag laws are good. It's
Dude,
just like, whoa, we
blows
got to
my
get this guy
mind.
out of there, rein him in. He's a crypt keeper of the
fucking blows
Congress.
my
We
mind.
got to get him out of here. We got to get. It's time to
No,
go. Dude.
it's insane, and I think I mentioned this in the last podcast. I'm like, what's one thing I do not like more than Democrats right now? I want to say most. Let me say most Democrats right now. Most Democrats right now. Right now, what I don't like is fucking rhinos, right? Because they're just fake. They're telling you one thing and going behind your back with another thing, right? Like we're seeing that right now with all these laws. Look, there was another shooting that came up. We see more rhinos popping up with stuff on it, and it's insane, right? And I don't want to get into conspiracy theory here. I'm still waiting for more information to come out so I can learn more about the July 4th shooting. But I have a lot to say about that very soon because it's very sus, to say the least, right?
I've been, and again, I would love to talk to you about that because that is the without getting down too far down into the rabbit hole, probably sounding insane. Especially this particular incident. I don't know if you've seen any of his stuff on YouTube. Did they take it down?
They took his social medias down. I was digging in through stuff. I did watch maybe 2 videos of his, and they were quite disturbing.
Yeah.
There was imagery on there. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this kid? I've heard They're trying to pin him as a Trump supporter. That's one.
Yeah, he showed
I
up
don't
in a
even know.
Where's Waldo outfit at a Trump
Well,
rally or something like that. Yeah.
showed up multiple ones, and then he had a flag around him as well. That's one of the
Yeah.
Trump flags. But from what I understand, his father was running for mayor as a
Yep.
Democrat
Yep.
for the city. For one, I believe that his Instagram there's imagery in relation to Antifa. Which let me tell you, man, I'm not someone who looks for problems whatsoever.
Mhm.
But Antifa is probably it almost feels like a gang, bro. Like right, like where it's like if I see Antifa anywhere, it's on site. You know what I'm saying? No questions asked. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking
Yeah,
rumble
within
right
the
here.
law, within the law. But yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
I'm sorry, send me to jail, bro. But I'm when it comes to those fuckers, bro, it's like I'm not a kind person no more. You know what I'm saying?
well, it's funny that you mention Antifa because this year, where are they at? Last the last 2 years, arguably you could say, they're it's like a vapor. During the entire time that Trump was president, I mean, every single week it was Antifa this or this. I mean, you had the Portland shooting where that guy basically got assassinated in that parking garage. The guy walked up right behind him and shot the guy in the back of the head and just ran off.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a standoff with the police, and then the police came in and shot him. But I mean, that's wild. That's wild. And we're just they took over Portland. I mean, it's totally insane.
Mm-mm.
Where are they at now?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I've seen content and stuff that came out.
Sure.
From it. I have seen it, right? I've seen them making a mess, and it's fucking annoying, right? But this guy right here, like they're trying to paint him out as being, what's got Trump support and all this stuff like that.
Mhm.
But it doesn't sit right with me. Like, why would somebody who Trump supporter or calls himself patriot, whatever the fuck you want to say, will go and shoot up a patriotic event on a patriotic day, right?
Yeah.
Like that doesn't sit well with me. Obviously there's still more stuff to come out. But the guy was just fucking crazy. I mean, bro, look at this picture of him right here. Like, you could just tell how crazy he looked. And just ignore the caption. I haven't read the caption. I don't even know what it says.
Sure.
But, like, dude, like, come on now, bro.
Well,
something's not right there,
Do you have an extra 10 minutes?
Yeah.
I got okay. I'd again, and this is kind of maybe this may be the most controversial topic you will ever hear maybe on your show.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No.
Dude,
Yeah.
This is still what you were saying. You're saying like you haven't heard nothing with Antifa?
Yeah, sure.
So now I don't know if there's confirmation behind this. There's going to be no sound on this right now.
Mhm.
But if you look here, this video actually July 5th, which is I believe today.
Yeah.
Apparently this group of people here running over here, watchers, and they were claiming to be Antifa. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, just lawlessness. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
Like,
wild. Yeah.
Like,
Nice
dude,
Tesla, bro. Now it's busted.
bro, I don't think that's a Tesla, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know they're still active. It's just they haven't made headlines like before. And I promise you, bro, like, again, I might get in trouble for saying this, but it feels like some gang shit. Like, I see them, like, let's bump, bro.
Oh, the Antifa, I think there's a lot of funny things with that. I mean, I don't know if they're paid provocateurs or not. I'm sure that there is elements of it that are grassroots, if you will. But a lot of that seems to me like that's a lot of paid provocateur kind of things. But as far as this Cremo character, what's his last name? Is it Cremo?
Cremo, yeah, it's Robert. I believe it's Robert E. Cremo.
Yeah. I'm probably you're gonna be like, what the fuck's this guy talking about? I'm under the impression, especially with this particular shooting, that this one is more unique than the rest as far as the funny nature behind it, and this kind of maybe sounds sporadic and not really comprehensive, but you have around the country now. You first of all, you look at the kid's hair. Obviously, I'm not drawing. He could just be obviously he's got issues, but looking at somebody without that, just looking at them on the street, you could see like, oh, they're edgy rebel, teenager kid.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing, and maybe I'm wrong. I don't really know. I don't have a ton of deep research on this, but
yeah,
there's like a concerted effort, it seems like, in schools to confuse kids with
absolutely,
different issues, transgenderism or whatever their issues are. You know, I I would say that you have a combination of the school systems confusing kids. You have psychological psych clinics that kids who are disturbed or whatever their issues are, they go and they're given medication and they're adjusted or whatever their
Mm.
plan solutions are. Maybe this is not random. You know, and I'm not saying just not the shooting's random, but what I'm saying is you have this funny thing. Never at a time in our country has I think I've seen a number reported somewhere around 30, 32, or 33% of kids in first to fifth grade identify as something other than what they would naturally appear to be, whether that be, you know, I feel like a reindeer or I'm gay or whatever.
Mm.
Where are these kids picking this up from? And it's not
Mm.
it's not it's not to say that this kid has the same issues, but I mean when you're entering a school system that has this kind of thing, and then you develop, because I mean kids going to psychiatric clinics are on the rise as well. It's not hard to jump to the conclusions that these kids are being engineered to cause these kinds of problems. Because I mean, you have the kid at Parkland, deeply disturbed.
Dude,
That's not a normal thing. You know what I
the
mean?
kid, the guy Uvalde, he was way
Deeply
fucking
disturbed.
disturbed too.
Deeply
There's
disturbed.
you know what's crazy too, and please, somebody whoever's listening, correct me if I'm wrong here, but what I've noticed too about all these like people have committed shootings, I don't want to make this a left or right thing, but it
Mhm.
just seems like they're left leaning people who went off and did something crazy. Like seriously, look at the Uvalde. He was wearing women's clothes amongst other stuff that he was talking
Yes.
about, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with this guy. You know, I see him with all this Trump gear, but then I see other stuff that's kind of like opposing from what I see there. So I'm still a little conflicted what's going on there. I
Mhm.
don't want to confirm that, but the guy in Brooklyn, so you know, I have family in Brooklyn, that committed the shooting and whatnot. Right down the street from my aunt's house. It's crazy. This fucker, you know, he was a racist, man. He was a flat out fucking racist. The one in Albany that was targeting strictly, I believe he was just minorities or black people, right?
Yep.
Him himself, you know, he was a racist, from what it seems like, but from what I also understand and have read, he was, you know, left leaning as well, right?
Yep.
So I'm seeing more and more of that. I'm like, that's a little weird trend. And then when I look at the schools, you were mentioning with schools, and,
Yeah.
schools are confusing, dude. That's why I love what Florida did not too long ago with the bill that they ever was claiming to be the don't
Oh
say
yeah.
gay
Don't say.
bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you read the bill, it's
No.
nothing to do with that, right?
No.
It's protecting parents and kids, right? It's
Yeah.
giving the rights back to the parents and whatnot.
It's
So,
an
like,
anti-groomer bill. You know, you're the teacher
yeah,
can't come in and
pretty
be
much,
like, well,
yeah.
what do you feel like today? Like,
Exactly.
whoa, like let's not do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's giving the rights back to the parents because that
Yeah.
shouldn't be something that'll be in school. But here's an alarming thing, right? School wanting to teach that, like in New Jersey, they have curriculums where it's very exploited. It's like sexual content,
Yes.
grooming of
Yeah.
children. I don't care what
Yeah.
anybody tells me, it's fucking children. But then there's another thing that's really alarming as well. Let me share my screen real quick, right? So if I go over here, you're going to see my screen. The U.S. has the high. This is from
Yeah.
Statista.com.
Mm-hmm.
The U.S. has the highest share of single parenting, % of children younger than 18 living in a single parent household.
Man, that's so wild that the UK
United
and
States.
Russia are like right behind us. That's wild. What the
No,
hell is
listen.
up with that? Yeah.
It is wild that we're number one. The United States of America, number one.
Mhm.
That I would expect something like fucking Russia or some shit like that to be or some country in the continent of Africa, Asia, or even South America to have higher numbers. But United States, bro.
Well,
what is going on in this country that's creating this? Because this is a problem. This is not good.
Look at this map. I could tell you right now. I can tell you what the problem is. Look at this map. You have, first of all, you know, you look at to the Asia. You know, you have China. That I mean, other than maybe
3%.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe six other places, it's deeply blue. less than 3%. This is a cultural issue inside first world nations. You look at America,
yeah,
Canada, Russia, UK. I mean, all and arguably speaking, this may be a poverty thing down in South America, but I mean, even Mexico, where it's not, well, it could be poverty as well. But this is a largely cultural issue within the United States and the Western world, if you want to call it that.
it's fucking crazy.
Problem. I mean, this is in our school systems. This
Yeah,
is everywhere. And then you have China deeply that has cultural influence, has things like family, whatever. Now, I'm not saying that all parts of China are like this. They have a lot of issues of their own, but the family nature behind it. Because I mean, look, you have Thailand, Singapore, Vietnam. I mean, I can't really see where North Korea stands on this, but I mean, it's all in the same
no
area.
data.
India, it, no, nothing. I mean, that's the world leader in dual parent families is China, which is wild.
Yeah,
Like when you think about it, that's crazy. And those
some
people work
parts it
16
looks like
hours a day. How
some
the hell is
parts
that
of
possible?
it looks like some parts of Northwest Africa.
Yeah.
You got China. You got different parts in Asia, and it's like it's insane because like again like a country like the United States, right? This country has so much potential,
Mm-hmm.
literally to be the greatest country in this entire planet. I personally think right now that we're one of the best countries on the planet.
Oh yeah.
But we have so much room to be so much more better, so much more effective
Yeah.
in so many ways. And this is one thing that needs to be tackled. And the reason why is because look, I grew up in a single parent home. I don't know if you grew up in a single parent home.
No, I had two parents for most of my life.
So growing up in a single parent home brings a lot of problems, right? So
Sure.
me and my dad were real cool now, but for a long period of time, he wasn't involved. And when he wasn't involved, that led to me seeking out, role models in all the wrong places for me and my sister, right? And, some of it's gotten me in trouble. Some of it's had me do stuff that I wish I never had done, and a variety of other stuff, right? Because there's not that male figure. Being a dad of myself, I got my son and my daughter, and, I see how they are with my wife, and I feel bad because she tries her best, man. She works hard, she gives it her all and everything, right? But when I'm home, bro, it's just like the foot is down. Shut up. We need to behave because dad is home type deal, And there's a problem when the dad is not present in the home or just present in the children's life. And if our number is that high, that's going to come with problems, all sorts of fucking serious issues.
Well, I think that you alluded to this earlier was that weak men are part of the problem, and I would tend to agree that I mean you look at figures like Jordan Peterson. I mean he's been saying this for a little while now that it's not even if you have two parents in the home, if you have and this is not a slight against women by any means, but if you have two ineffectual people that can actually like lay down the law and say like, hey, this is what's going to happen. This is how we act at the house. Don't get wild. You just let the kids go run wild. I mean, you might as well have no parents in the house because half the time, and maybe this is me I'm not a parent, I don't know, but seeing how other people, raise their kids, especially over where I'm at, the kids run wild. There's no rules or laws or nothing. They just gallivant in the street till like 12:30 at night, and then I mean the only thing that probably brings them inside is that they're hungry. I mean it's totally insane.
Give me food, I'm gonna go back out and start shit.
Yeah. But I think that this is a deep cultural issue within the United States that there is part of it is the school for sure, and then part of it too is parents. We've enabled the state so much to dictate what goes on at the home that basically now like any type of law and order at the home can be overwritten by the school, because if your kid goes, oh, my parents yelled at me, oh, we got to bring them in, they got the parent teacher thing going on, and it's just like, what the fuck? Like, it just seems, and again, I'm not a parent, I don't know, but it just seems like the state has taken control of not only just what's in the schools, but also what goes on at the house.
Bro, look, I got to wrap up now.
Yeah.
I definitely want you, if you've been on second time guest, man. You've been the most on our podcast thus far. We're still a young podcast going.
Yeah.
But
Well,
you know what, man?
it.
We got to have a third time. It'd be great if we could do like an in person kind of podcast. But let's see what we can make happen, because that'd be awesome. But
hell yeah,
we're guys. If you enjoyed this, make sure you share this episode. We're gonna continue. There's gonna be a part 2 to this very episode in itself. So Doug, we could schedule something this week if we can.
Awesome.
And see if we could just pop that back in. That'd be awesome, man. Hopefully we could get Catherine. Guys, Harley Barber's not here. Let's all keep her in prayers. Let's all just wish her the best, because she's got a pretty good opportunity and she's gonna crush it. So I'm excited for what's coming her way as well. So let's keep those positive vibes there, y'all. Doug, thanks again.
No,
and
thank
guys,
you.
Share the show.